So in this video, I want to make sure that you guys have some bonus tips on this career opportunities series in order for you to actually kind of like further your job hunt and your career. And this video is for anybody. Doesn't matter if you're entry level, mid-level, or a senior, these tips will apply to you. So we will cover in this video job sites that you can apply to, how to stand out from the rest, daily habits for success, which are very important, and more. So without further ado, let's wrap up the series in the best way possible and let's get to it. So welcome to another video. I hope you're doing well. And this series of career opportunities have been really eye-opening for me because I thought when I first started them that maybe this was not of interest. But given the success of the last 3 videos, I think that people are enjoying it. So if you are seeing this for the first time and this is of interest, then make sure you check out part 1, 2, and 3. They are made for entry-level, mid-level, and seniors specifically. But this specific one is basically tips that I had left over from all the other videos that I couldn't fit in one video because otherwise it was going to become too big. Now, before I get started, I thought about comfort as I was working on these videos. And even though this video specifically is not sponsored, I want to talk about a previous sponsor that we had, which was Anthos, the Anthos chair. The Anthos chair is incredibly comfortable and allows you to work incredibly well for a long period of time. I've been using the chair now for months on end, and I love it. And the people that have bought the chair since I made my review quite a few months ago have been loving it, and the reviews have been amazing, and there's been lots of comments about thank you, the chair is amazing. I've tested so many Herman Miller chairs and many others over the years, and this chair is absolutely amazing. So once again, video is not sponsored, however, I want to plug it in here so you guys don't miss on this awesome opportunity. So if you want to get that 500 plus discount, the link is down below. You can go and get it now, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's start with job sites and resources. Okay, so I'm going to talk specifics here because I think it's important for you guys to know which websites I would recommend. So just to start, I think that websites such as LinkedIn, that's going to be your first source of jobs, and is for the same reasons that I mentioned before in all the 3 videos. LinkedIn, most companies kind of go, hey, we are hiring, would you like to join us? So LinkedIn is going to be like your number 1 source of jobs and hiring. So I highly recommend you guys signing up for LinkedIn if you don't have one yet, and make sure your profile is like absolutely solid. Not only do you actually write what you've done, but also show examples, videos, images, anything that you have, media, helps you a ton, because when people go through your LinkedIn and they look at your profile, what they're doing first and foremost is basically scanning to see if they can find anything familiar. So if there's any trailers, images and stuff. And also you're going to look at company logos, right? So when you look through the resume, like if they see anything so familiar like a Blizzard or an EA or anything like that, then I'm now interested to read the rest of your LinkedIn profile. So now I'll go back to the top and then find out more about the person. So having a solid LinkedIn profile is great. Now, the other websites that I should mention here are going to be Indeed. I think gamesindustrybiz.biz is really powerful, and you should definitely keep that in your bookmarks. Not only do they keep up to date with news about the industry, but also a lot of companies actually advertise in their websites for jobs. And then you can find also Hitmaker. Hitmaker is going to be another one that is going to be very good for you to find jobs. And then work with indies. This is a website that I think is going to take off over the next few years, and I think is a website where indie companies go in there and then they basically advertise their jobs. Now, I think that this is really important because I think that the way the industry is moving right now is that there's more and more need for indie studios to hire really good talent. So if you are a person that is looking to go indie from a AAA background perhaps, or even if you actually don't have any experience, you want to get into an indie game instead of working on a AAA, then maybe going here or going to work with indies and keep it in your bookmarks might be a good idea for you going forward. And then last but definitely not least is ArtStation. So ArtStation, they are basically seen from me and others just as a place for you to showcase your real artwork or your showreel. but they also advertise jobs there. They have forums. They are very complex, very big website. So go to ArtStation to basically find work as well. And don't feel fearful of having your profile in multiple places. This is a question that I get quite often, is the fact that, can I have my profile in ArtStation and then LinkedIn and then some other website? You can have your profile in as many platforms as you want, and basically these things will serve very much like a Twitter or like a Facebook page, where the more spaces and the more places you are, the better visibility people are going to have of you and your work. Something important to say here is as well that studios a lot of the times only advertise on their website, and the bigger the studio, the more they advertise on their website. And a good tip here is to know that studios normally advertise on their website first for a few weeks or months, and then they go public with their announcement. So make sure you go to those websites, save them in your bookmarks, so every so often you go and check out if they have an opportunities for you. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say here is going to be about recruiting events and job fairs. Now, if you go to a GDC, they're going to have career booths. A lot of the companies, basically somebody sitting behind a desk, like just waiting for people to come by and show their show reels and show their whatever work they have, right? And this is going to be very important to you. Chase for those and go prepared. And then the other thing is going to be local expos. A lot of that's like in London, there's a bunch of them. Midlands, there's a few as well. And this is going to be like animation expos, like Animex and things like that, and other things that basically allow you to basically have a congregation of talent, of experienced talent. Go to those and make sure that you come prepared. Take your show reel, take your business card if you have one, and be prepared. And then the last thing is virtual expos. So there's this place that basically happen. It can be virtual gatherings, virtual experts, they have different names. And the idea here is that studios, sometimes they'll say, well, we're going to have some professionals talking about something specific on this topic. Come and join us, and maybe we can ask you questions, QAs, or we can review your show reels. And this can happen impromptu, or it can be something that basically happens because you're interested. If you go to those things, go prepared once again that you might have an opportunity to showcase your work, to basically ask them a question about your work. So go prepared to any of these resources that I just gave you. Now, let's talk about how to stand out. First point is personalized applications. When you actually apply for any studio, especially the bigger studios, make sure that you personalize your applications to that specific studio. Don't just create one application, one CV, one resume, and then send that everywhere, because that's going to get you nowhere. What you need to do is very much like on a folder somewhere safe, that online or on your computer, make folders of each company that you actually apply for with the name of the company, and then within it, tweak your resume, to tweak your CV to basically cater to that company. And on that specific application, mention specifics about the studio. Every studio likes to feel special. So if you apply for a Creative Assembly, for example, here in the UK, you know they worked on the Total War series. They work on Warhammer and Total War Rome and a bunch of other things. So maybe you like that type of game. Or maybe you played their, Xbox Halo series or something along those lines. But just show your knowledge about the company. And it can be research knowledge, or it can be something that you genuinely enjoy. Be truthful. Make sure that you actually say those things because you mean them, because they might ask you questions about those things. But make sure that you always find an angle to basically make it personalized to the company, so they understand that you're not just a regular applicant. They are somebody special that really cares for the company that you're applying for. Now, second point is portfolio polish. Make sure you have a clean layout. Make sure your best work is always first. And make sure you have short descriptions for each piece. So if you have a specific scene on a game that you worked on, and you are an animator, but the lighting looks really cool and the physics look really cool, maybe I want to know who did what, right? Adding descriptions doesn't have to be too long, 2 or 3 lines max. It's good for the viewer to kind of understand the impact that you had on this one piece of animation, right? Same thing with motion capture pieces. If you actually work on a motion capture piece, make sure you say if this was part of a game, if this is personal work, and if it's personal work, how much did you work on it, how long did it took you, as much information as possible, but keep it short. Keep it always short. But this will help give context to your work, which then might help you later on. Third point here is to follow up politely. And follow-up is basically a way for you to make sure that they don't forget about you. What happens behind the scenes is that companies have, especially like AAA companies, they have lots of applications. They have maybe 5 or 10 applicants that they are looking into. And out of the 5 or 10 applicants, you have to nail it down to about 3. So if you don't get an answer for a long time, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It might just mean that they are genuinely thinking about you being the candidate, but they maybe have another 2 or 3 to compare you to. Don't be disheartened. However, doing a follow-up, if you had an interview, wait a week, and then maybe the second or third week, do a kind follow-up to your application, right? And just ask them gently about, thank you for your time. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I can see myself working there given what I've seen. Can I have an update on my application? No problems, I understand that you're busy, and so and so. And what normally happens is that, at least the studios that I worked in, is that we kind of go, I don't know, 3 weeks have been passed and we're still discussing and we are busy with our work, but we are still busy hiring. We have so many things going on. Just having that ping, that email ping, just makes us understand that, wait, this person has been waiting for 3 weeks and we haven't said anything. Let's just send them an email saying, look, we really enjoyed your interview, we really enjoyed your work, but we're still discussing internally which way should we go. We'll let you know ASAP, and apologies for the wait. This is kind of the answers that we give back. And this kind of tells you that you are in the right way. You just have to wait a little bit. So just to give an example, my application for EA Dice, when I actually joined them in 2017, 16, something like that. It took, the whole process took about 3.5 months overall. And there was a lot of waiting and a lot of like, yes, but no, but negotiations, but yes, but no. There's a lot of that going on. So some processes take a long time for you to actually get an answer, but just know that if it's taking a little longer, nudge them a little bit, and then hopefully they'll come back to you. And the last point here is about being professional and being prepared, because when you receive an email back from anybody that is interested in you, doesn't matter if it's a recruiter or company, you need to answer promptly, as promptly as possible. Don't just wait like 2 or 3 days and then answer, because what's happening is that if you are like entry level or mid level, they might see you as not being super active and not being serious about the job. And I've had this before on both sides of the coin. I've been the person that is actually late to answer emails, and the recruiters go, why is it taking you so long to answer? And I've been on the other end where I'm actually expecting an answer from a candidate that we're really highly interested, and the candidate takes a week to reply, which at that point we're like, we need to move on from this candidate because they are obviously not interested in the position. So being prepared and being responsive means that you are keen and you are there for them, which then just adds value and just gives them peace of mind that you are the person for the job, which is completely different, right? Okay, let's move on to the next section and talk about daily habits to stay employable. So here we have a few tips for you, because there's nothing worse than actually like waiting for a job or like looking for a job and not getting any answers back. So while you are waiting, while you are actually slightly anxious about like what I'm going to do, just make sure that you follow a few steps here that hopefully helps you to stay employable and basically make you better at where you are going to go in the future. So the first point is continuous learning. I mentioned it in pretty much every single video previously, but this is super important. Doesn't matter if you're a novice, if you're intermediate, or if you're senior, because learning game dev is basically a lifetime profession. So even if you're experienced, you can always learn more about design. You can always learn more about like art. You can always learn more about engineering. You can always learn more about the latest tech that Unreal or Unity has. So there's lots of stuff that you can learn, implementation. So keep on learning and keep on making yourself better, because the better you are, the more useful you are for anyone's studio. So perhaps you didn't know a lot about implementation before, and now that you've been 3 months without a job, 6 months without a job, now you know how to implement your stuff better, and that makes you more valuable and is another thing that you can add to your CV. Now, point number 2, engaging with the community. Keeping tabs with the community, doesn't matter if it's on Discord or Twitter or subreddit. It helps you with your personal feelings when it comes to doubts, but also helps you to basically have more information about other companies that might be hiring. And joining a community, it can be my Discord if you like, link down below, where we have an animation Discord where there's lots of jobs being posted all the time. It keeps updated all the time, and there's discussions as well. But that's actually something really powerful that you can do, so you can talk with others, you can ask questions. Plus, the better community it is, the more you're going to feel good about yourself when you start talking with others with the same problem as you about some of the problems that you have or some of the barriers that you found, and maybe you can learn from others on how they actually overcame some of the barriers and how they actually are now doing better. This gives you hope and gives you positivity overall, so it's a great thing. Point number 3 is portfolio maintenance. So updating your portfolio every few months. This is important because you need to show progress. There's more eyeballs now than ever on your work, and believe it or not, we are all kind of post on social media and there's a bunch of other things out there, but if you're doing a good job and people are liking your work and stuff, somebody's looking at your job and they are looking at what you are updating. And I can say that from experience with YouTube and the things that I do, that sometimes it goes months or years, and then somebody comes along and says, I've been following your work for the last year or for the last few months, and here's a proposal for you, or here's a new job, or there's a new job opportunity here. So this helps you a ton. So always work and act as if the world is looking at your work, and update your work every few months so you can show progress in quality, but also like in what you're trying to achieve as an animator. So keeping the things updated is incredibly important for that reason. Fourth point, personal brand building. Once again, I mentioned it in one of the videos before, but nowadays building a brand is more important than ever, and people should actually connect your work to your name in some ways. I know many animators out there, for example, that I know of them through a piece of work that I've seen before, that I went, this is a bonkers, this is amazing, I need to follow this person. And even when I see updates from the person, I'll go like, oh, that's the animator from that piece that I initially saw, because that first impression is everything. So you creating a brand around that helps you a ton. Build a website, share your work, do blog posts, a whole lot. Make sure you check the other 3 videos so you know more about that, but make sure you do that as a way for you to actually stay employable. And then lastly, health and burnout avoidance. This is something that needs to be mentioned here, because as much as we are chasing that job, as much as we're chasing the dream, perhaps we want to be entrepreneurs, perhaps we want to be YouTubers, perhaps we want to be, a streamer. Those things can take a lot from you, and initially, because it feels like you're going nowhere, you feel like you need to work harder, you need to actually work much more than you have. But I think the key here is not to work harder, is to work smarter. So this series, overall, these 4 videos, is hopefully a way for you to work smarter and not harder, which means that you can sleep more. It means that you can actually try to avoid burnout. It means that you actually take steps that are not constantly the same, and you try different things, because it's important for you to actually make sure that you feel like you're always moving forward, even if you don't have anything back when it comes to employment. That feeling of cadence of going forward is really important, but don't do it at a cost of sleep and burnout and all these things, because you will start seeing what you loved with hate, because you feel like this is the bane of your existence because you follow this path. And 9 times out of 10 you feel that way because you've been going too hard on something instead of actually doing it the smart way, if that makes sense. Okay, so the overall recap here. At an entry level, build a strong foundation. Make sure your portfolio, your skills, make sure you join game jams, make sure you actually do tailor applications. And if you want to know more, check out video 1 of this series, because there's much more information there. At a mid-level, showcase shipped projects, highlight real impact games and projects that you have been a part of, refine your niche as much as you possibly can, and network more strategically. This is really important for you to actually master this networking. And if you want to know more, check out video 2 of this series. Now, for if you're a senior, make sure you explore consultancy, is really powerful, and also leadership or alternative paths for your career that might feel a little fresh, especially as you've been doing the same things for so long. And then leverage your reputation and your experience, and make sure you actually know the potential and the value of your specialized knowledge. And here, just like before, make sure you check out video 3 of this series if you want to know more about how to achieve more as a senior in this industry. And now, for everybody, doesn't matter if you're at the entry level, mid-level, or senior, keep learning. This is really important. Just see this career as a lifetime career that you'll always learn something new. And it doesn't matter if it's skill or tech, there's always going to be something new for you to take. And it's a young industry. We're just giving our first steps. The industry most likely is going to be like film 200 years from now. We need to make sure that we keep on learning so we can keep up with all the changes and be employable for as long as possible. Also, make sure you keep networking. Treat your network as your baby and really value your network, because the people that you network with, the people that you get to know, the people that you actually make friends with in this industry, they are going to be your biggest asset when you actually are in this time of need. And you need to make sure, you need to understand how important this is. Also, stay visible. We are in the industry that we are normally at the back. People don't know who makes these games. We like to be in front of our computers in anonymity. That's how we feel comfortable. But now that you are in this place where perhaps you don't have a job, you're looking for a new job, you need to start getting comfortable with being out there, with being on social media, or people seeing maybe your face or seeing your work. And this will be something that you need to get used to, because I genuinely feel like the future where we're going to go in the industry as an artist is going to be like the ones that have no fear of showcasing their work and asking for feedback are going to be the ones that have the most opportunities out there. And this goes for studios, but also for the individuals as well. And lastly, but definitely not least, is stay healthy. Don't let this thing consume you, because the more you let it consume you, the more you're going to start seeing this career, this industry as an enemy, as a horrible place, and then a lot of negativity ensues. And we all know how negative the internet is, the world is nowadays. So if you go down that path, there's going to be a point of no turning back, because a lot of people are going to echo what you feel right now, because this is the state of the world. However, if you actually don't burn out, if you do it in a smart way, that you can basically always feel like you have cadence forward in some way or the other, and you feel control over what you're doing, and you sleep well and you don't burn out, then you're going to feel like you got it, you know what I mean? Like this is going to be for the long run, not just for now. And as a final call to action in this video, I want to ask you all to pick at least one new habit or tip to implement the right way in your workflow. Just one. Start with one, and then maybe review the videos to actually pick up some more if you have the energy. And if you have any other questions and any other needs, then comment down below. Ask me what kind of videos would you like, what kind of topics would you like in order to help you in your career, because this series is all about helping those that are in need right now, because the industry is in a really bad place. So I want to continue to make more of these videos. So comment down below and let me know what you want to see next. Now, this marks the end of this series for career opportunities. Now, this industry is changing incredibly quickly. I might do a video update at some point this year or next year. Hopefully the industry will be in a better place. But for now, this is the end. I hope these 4 videos help you a ton in your journey. I'm going to create a playlist with these 4 videos so you can revise. But most importantly, keep creating, keep learning, and good luck in your journey in game dev, because it's in a wonderful industry. And when you really take it all in, despite the negativity that we're going through right now, it's an amazing career to have. And I hope you join me here at some point in the future. And with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, stay well, stay safe. Peace. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, go ahead and hit the like button. If you super enjoyed it, leave a super thanks. It's like leaving a little tip, and it directly supports the channel. If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can continue to see my videos and get your weekly dose of betterness.